The Picts, the tribe that defended Scotland from the Roman Empire. The Picts were a Celtic tribe with a unique culture. They lived in Scotland some 2,000 years ago. All they left behind are Pictish stones, monumental steels with intricate carvings, but we know a lot more about them from the Romans. And the Romans had a good reason to mention the Picts. The Celtic warriors were so fierce they defeated the legionaries. At that time, Rome controlled much of Britain, but they could never conquer the land of the Picts. The Romans considered the Picts wild savages. In fact, the word Pict was coined by the Romans as a pejorative. It came from the Latin word painted. The Picts were reportedly covered with blue tattoos. Julius Caesar described the Picts thus:
They dye themselves with woad, which produces a blue color, and makes their appearance in battle more terrible. They wear long hair, and shave every part of the body save the head and the upper lip.
Other Roman sources mention the Picts' affinity for iron. Pictish warriors supposedly fought naked, wearing only iron chains. They put the chains around their throats and waists as a status symbol. Apparently, the Picts valued iron more than gold, but the painted savages proved to be a tough enemy. Their favorite tactic was to lure the Romans into a false sense of victory. The first battle seemingly ended with the Picts retreating, but once the Romans were settled into their camp, the Picts came pouring out of the woods. They slaughtered the entire Roman contingent. Every subsequent battle was another blow to the Romans' sense of superiority. The Picts would charge the Romans on horseback and immediately retreat. The Roman cavalry would give chase only to be ambushed by the Picts. Every time the Romans managed to capture a Pict settlement, the Picts abandoned it. They regrouped at a different location and always struck back. Rome was never able to capture Scotland, but most historians doubt the fanciful Roman tales of the painted warriors. There's no real evidence that the Picts were especially warlike. It was probably an excuse the Romans made up to explain their failures. It's unlikely that the Picts fought naked. They did wear chains around their necks, but these were made of silver. The Picts were farmers living in small communities. Their religion probably resembled Celtic polytheism. The distinct Pictish culture was ultimately destroyed by Christianization. Missionaries arrived in Pictland by the end of the 4th century. The last Pictish kings died in 843 AD. He was killed by either the Vikings or the Scots. Then, the king of the Scots, Cynod mac Ailpin, crowned himself as their ruler. The old name, Kingdom of the Picts, was replaced with Kingdom of Alba. The frequent Viking raids forced the last Picts to join forces with the Scots. Pictish language and culture were lost to Gaelic influences. By the 10th century, the Picts were only a distant memory.